What's up, everybody? It's your boy Bandito here, and today I wanted to give you some advice and tips on bagging and boarding your comic books. Now, before we get into the video, please turn on the notification bell. That way, you get notified whenever I post a new video. Hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Now, let's get to the video. Now, typically, when you're bagging and boarding, you kind of want to look around and make sure you get the right bags and boards. And I'm gonna give you some little advice, like which kind of preferred bags you want to get or boards you kind of want to get too as well, because it does make a difference in your books. Now, I want to give you two terms I want to talk about. It's raw and graded. Raw is basically books like this. They're just in the bag. And graded, well, as it says, you graded them and they come in this frame. Typically, you go to the company CGC. There are other companies too, but typically a lot of people are going to deal with CGC. Now, you kind of want to get them graded because typically that's where the money comes from if you're trying to flip them or sell them. And you want to keep them in the best condition. Now, grading, they do from 0 to 10, and 10 is pretty much impossible because that means all the book is clean from inside and out, from corner to corner, the spine, everything. I'm not saying you can find them, but it is possible that you will find one of them, but it's rare. And a 9.9 as well. Typically, the highest you'll see them is 9.8 on most of the books. And a lot of these books get real famous because of movies. Now, movies really dictate the prices of books. So when the new character comes on the next movie, the first appearance of that person in their book skyrockets and brings up that value. And you want that book in pristine condition, and you want to get it framed and graded. That way, if you're looking to sell and you're looking to trade it off for about $400, which is typically the best price for most books. It depends on who the character is as well too. So now I want to talk about details about each one of these different bags and a little bit about the boards as well. So we're gonna start with the first one. This is your regular poly. I don't know how they call them, but these are your poly bags. These are probably like your cheapest ones you can get. I do not always recommend you get these, but if this is your cheapest way you can get these, then that's fine. But you don't want to get these because after time, you see that they start wrinkling. You don't want that in your books because it kind of looks ugly. Now, the other ones I want to talk about too is Ultra Pro. Yeah, this is another company that actually does comic book bags as well. They got other things like poly and the poly. This is another one, poly resealable. It's the same thing. It's a poly. It's not as thick as like these, but the only thing good, they're resealable. And actually look a lot better than those. So this is another cheap alternative you can get. These are a little bit more pricier, but they come in a bag of, I want to say 10. So you kind of want to, like, if you want bigger things, I could recommend these. These are Mylar. This is a 2 mil and this is a 4 mil. Now the difference is just the thickness. This is actually pretty thicker than this one actually, than the poly. And I want to say a little bit more thicker than this one as well. So this one's a little bit more flimsy than this one. This one's actually thick. And this bad boy is very thick. Usually we want to put in like your high frame books or your low print books that you can barely find, like this one. This is a Jim Lee variant. Kind of want to keep them clean. And the last one I want to talk about is top loaders. These are actually from Ultra Pro as well. You can just slide in your books and they come in this big thick, not bag, but whatever it is, container. It's pretty big. Now you kind of want to be careful when you're buying bags and boards because you kind of want to know what's the era of the books you have. Either you have Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, and Modern Age. And if you're collecting more modern, you kind of want to look at right here. See, this is current. This is a backboard. It's a full back. See, this typically fits your more modern books. You want to make sure you get the right books and actually know the year of the books that you got. You don't want to throw any book in any bag because either they're going to be too loose or they're going to be too tight, or they're just not going to fit. And this is another one. This is your bags. This is a My Light. There's another company called BCW that actually does these as well. But this is I got these because they were cheaper and they were doing a bundle sale, so it was 35 bucks on Amazon. You get the My Lights and the fullback for about 35 bucks, which is pretty cheap. And this is a 2 mil Mylar, and they actually have a 4 mil, but I don't think it was in a bundle sale as from what I seen, so it's good to get these. BCW actually has a website too. I know if you like get more than one package, the more you add, the cheaper discounts they give you. Which if you have a bunch of books just laying around and you're looking to bag and board, I prefer you go to BCW because they give you already like the bags, 200 bags for like maybe less than what they're offering you at retail stores. If you have any questions, you could always ask your local comic book shop for advice. You know, hey, I got this book. I don't know what era it came from. They'll give you an advice and they'll be like, oh, this is Silver Age, and they'll point you out to the bags and boards of the Silver Age. Also, you don't want these books just laying around like without a bag and board, because see, there's like this was from an antique store. I'm actually surprised that this book actually came in pretty clean condition. Nothing's wrong with it. There's no spine breaks from what I see, and the corners actually look pretty sharp still. You don't want them like this because you can easily tear them. Let me show you without the book. So there's no backboard, so you can easily just bend the books. You don't want that, especially if you have high key grades on there. You don't want any of that. So you always have to always make sure you have a backboard on there. And also another thing too, they do have two sides. You kind of want to make sure you know what side is what. Like this is the rough side. This should be the back facing outwards of the comic book, like right here. You want that out. You want this smooth side facing the back of the book, because if you put it on this side, after a while you're gonna see the smear of the back of the book color, the color of the back of the book on here, and you don't want that at all neither. So it was very informative, giving you some tips and advice when you're collecting single issues. Now if you have some questions or you're concerned about some things, please leave a comment below. I'm gonna try my best to give you some advice. And hit that like button, turn that notification bell on, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Keep on reading. Peace.